Batman was unbelievable. I was just in awe and amazement throughout the movie with very minor problems, but more on that later. Let's just talk about this, man. This insane movie. Hi, welcome everybody. This is Randomjeanc Reviews The Batman. Let's just say The Batman, the movie, not the character, focuses in on Gotham and has a huge cast of characters from Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, to Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin. Let's not forget Alfred Pennyworth, aka Alfred. Last but not least, Mr. Vengeance himself, Batman. Now, this version of Batman is very young. He's been a Batman for about 2 years, so he's much less experienced compared to all the other Batmans. So he's still carving a name for himself in this cruel Gothic city, and he's constantly making mistakes. And I love that. It's realistic to have the first masked vigilante in Gotham, or at least the most famous one, make many mistakes. His look, his suit, his way of speaking, handling himself, Robert Pattinson steals the scenes every time with presence and intrigue. It's a dude dressed as a bat by the man playing a shiny golden bat that sparkles in the sun.
Beautiful. This is the skin of a killer, Bill.
Okay, come on, I had to make that joke. Literally, I haven't seen him since that movie, Twilight, and all those years ago. But anyways, I know this man is an established actor and has been for a long time. I just haven't ran across into his more recent movie, but I've always heard good things, like The Lighthouse, for example. But I digress. We see the most important aspect of Batman in this film, the world's greatest detective. Did we forget that was his most important description? Because at some point it did change. It's not man dressed as bat that can punch, kick, and throw good. That's not to say previous Batmans didn't have their ways and iconic charms, but this one I think is the best portrayal of Batman we have ever seen put to film. And I know what you're gonna say. Maybe. Christian Bale's Batman has always been the very best, and to me, as much as I like the trilogy, I can never take Bale's Batman seriously. It always looked like his mask was too tight and he couldn't breathe through his nose. His voice, I could never take it seriously.
The trigger! Where is it? You never give it to an ordinary citizen! Where is it? Where's the trigger?
In case we fail, lead an exodus. Save as many lives as you can.
You don't need me here?
You've given me an army. Now go.
Hey, thanks.
Don't thank me yet.
It's just laughable to me ever since I was a little kid. It still kind of is.
I'm not wearing hockey pants. I'm not wearing hockey pants.
I wonder if I can still find that 2010 parody of his mannerisms, and here it is.
Question or declarative statement. I'm not joking. I really can't understand anything that you are saying. I can't. There's no words coming out of his mouth. Am I right? There's fists coming out. Do you see what it sounds like?
I just couldn't take him seriously. I'm sorry. Great films and Batman aesthetically, but the voice, I just could never. Great Bruce Wayne, perfect Bruce Wayne, but the Batman I just couldn't do it. Just when it came to the voice, but still awesome. Now Patterson has the perfect voice. No voiceovers, no raspy voice, just a great Batman voice. Gritty action fights, no guns here, Batflick. Impressive detective work, definitely worthy of the world's greatest detective, and the badassery that comes with that. I am very happy to report and spoil, there's no pearls anywhere in this movie. I was so sick and tired of seeing those pearls fall down onto the ground, getting ripped away from Mrs. Wayne's neck and all this crap. I was so tired of it. So glad there are no pearls to report anywhere in this movie. Just as we were sick of seeing Uncle Ben die, we were sick of seeing the Waynes die. This movie sucks you in and forces you to watch the true hopelessness of Gotham. And Batman trying to save a city that is drowning in so much corruption and hopelessness, which makes Batman all the more essential for his presence in it. What an incredible performance. Truly magnificent. Well done, Robert. Well done. Now this does put a smile on my face. Let's not forget the Riddler. Holy crap, this is easily the best rendition of Riddler I have ever seen. Extremely intimidating when playing his persona, and still a psychopathic freak deep down, and a total genius, but also goofy at times, as he's supposed to be. The way he was portrayed in the movie was exceptional. It made Riddler truly fascinating to watch. I loved every second he was on. whose influence on people with societal issues, fighting of the elite, fighting the rich, gives him a huge following in the city. You can pretty much root for this guy for the most part, except for his methods, but you can almost root for this guy, as he can also in a way seem as the hero, just doing the things the wrong way, opposing Batman's way, of course. As you see in the trailers, you see the massive support he has from the citizens. It's scarily accurate to real life events. This movie orchestrates a huge mystery and narrative that is truly timeless, all due to him. All about corruption, differences of upbringings, the mentality of people born in a world where it seems there's no hope in being a law-abiding citizen, as it seems to everyone else looking in, corrupt. There's no hope. There is no hope. Perfectly showing the Gotham that was portrayed in Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of Joker years ago. Those two interpretations of Gotham are one-to-one. That version of Gotham and this version of Gotham are perfect. You can tell me there were different writers and directors, by the way, that made these versions of Gotham. It was just a perfect melding of two versions of Gotham, but this one really shoves you in it, even more so. The story for all the characters, scenarios, and intrigue is just what I wanted and exactly what I got, and then some. While I do love the Marvel movies, there has never been a time that the Marvel movies has felt as realistic or gritty as this. I know that's not what they go for, but with Endgame they kind of tried that when people died in Infinity War. It just wasn't there. It just never hits. When disaster hits in those movies, it never hits like they do in the DC movies. They just don't. And I don't know if they ever will, but they've been doing a lot better lately. That might change with Doctor Strange. And it kind of has changed with Spider-Man as well, which was incredible, by the way. I know DC has been on a roll when it comes to the latest movies, including the Suicide Squad and this one, which proves they can have fun. Just as the Suicide Squad was really fun, silly, and also serious at times, this one is way more serious than the last one. But you know what? They play both roles well when it comes to comedic humor, action, and also intense grit and realism, as seen in this movie. One with the absurd humor and comedy, the other with great and frightening realism. If DC keeps this up, they might be able to stand a chance. We'll see. Now let's talk about the other characters. It's not just Batman and Riddler, of course not. There's way more characters. Let's talk about Catwoman, who was fantastic. I loved her scene. She's just a victim of Gotham trying to get by this horrible city. Remember, Gotham is literally like the worst city to live in the DC universe. She's an orphan herself, abandoned by her family, and is doing anything and everything to survive, like a wild animal. A great femme fatale with desires and issues that all seem to be truly heartbreaking. She wants to live a normal, happy life and escape this rotten place. And had any of us been in her shoes, many of us may have been like her. Her relationship with Batman is truly believable. It's all organic and they help each other out due to circumstances at first, but truly become a team that I admire and truly believe. Alfred was fantastic too. Finally, a film with Andy Serkis doesn't die, maybe. I swear, this man was literally killed in 3 different movies the same year at the same time. It was so sad. Jokes aside, Andy Serkis is fantastic and a great Alfred. A great father figure to Bruce, having practically raised him and trained him himself. Penguin has his best portrayal yet. He has a strong presence and looks the best too. Not to mention, it's not too comical and not too serious. It's a perfect balance of prosthetics and casting, just like all the cast members I mentioned earlier. And Jim Gordon too. I did like this version of Jim Gordon. They may have changed his appearance, but they still kept his identity and morals intact. Warner Brothers must be really confident of this movie because you know what? We're getting a Gotham series focusing on the Penguin and a Gotham Police Department series. While I truly love the movie, I can see why it's not for everyone. It's really brooding, just as DC does. It's extremely long. I'm talking like 2 hours and 56 minutes or something, basically making it 3 hours. We could cut out some of the time to like maybe 2 hours and 45 minutes to maybe 2 hours and 30 minutes at the most. That would be fine. It was so long, in fact, however, that 3 separate times I thought the movie ended, but it kept going. I can see why people don't like the pacing. It definitely could be changed around. Some things could be cut, some things could be optimized. Because when I saw the Justice League 3-hour Snyder cut, I did not feel like it was 3 hours. This, I kind of felt it at times, but it was very minor for me. I can only imagine for other people who aren't as big fans of this movie as myself, so I can understand why people are tired of a brooding Batman. But you know what? He has a character arc to go through this movie, and he does. And we still have 2 more movies worth of character arcs for him to go through. I think we will see a change of his portrayal in the next movie. if it's written well, and it should be written well and directed well, I guess this one, it will be different. I'm just glad and happy to report that this movie is on its way to being the second best opening post-pandemic yet, behind Spider-Man, which is really incredible for our first film in a new trilogy, while Spider-Man was the last film in a new trilogy. And of course, the 20 movies behind that one, of course. For me, everything, just about everything worked in this movie. I really don't have much to complain besides what I mentioned, but my god, this shouldn't have worked, but somehow it did. The fact that this is the first film of a trilogy blows my mind. It is too perfectly topped. I have no idea how it can be topped, but we shall see. Just as it occurred in the movie, there's hope. Now, are you going to watch Batman? Are you excited for this? Did you already see it? Comment below and let me know. Talk to me. Let's chat. I'm ready to chat with any and all of you, but just be mindful of spoilers. I can't wait to see this again and see if my thoughts change. Maybe I'll even update that. But thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. If you love what you saw, smash that subscribe button. This is Randomjeanc signing off.